Hi, it's Kristen. Welcome back for another homeschool video. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you 3 reasons why you need a routine in your homeschool and a little bit about what our routine looks like and why it helps us so much. So I am not a schedule person. I wish that I was, honestly. I really think it's great when someone can have a schedule of from 7 to 7:30 we have breakfast, and then 7:30 to 8 we do chores, and then so on like that. But that kind of thing just really stresses me out, and as soon as we get behind, it would really, like I said, stress me out. And so a more rigid schedule like that is just not for me. But I also can't do the no schedule, you just wake up and just fly by the seat of your pants all day. When I do that, or if I have done that in the past, I find that I just get really overwhelmed looking at the day and thinking how am I gonna get this done and all the cleaning and all the cooking and the laundry and the homeschooling and just all the things. So not having any sort of schedule or routine is also not really good for me. So I've found kind of a middle of the road way to operate, and I like to call it rhythms. You could call it a routine. I've just really found that it is good for me and good for my children. So reason number 1 for creating a routine or a rhythm in your homeschool is that it provides predictability. So research shows that children do much better when they know what to expect and when they kind of can predict what's coming next in their day. So getting into a nice rhythm or routine provides stability, it provides predictability, as well as security for your children. I find often that when our day kind of gets thrown off by something, whether it be an appointment or something we have to leave the house for or something, I find that the days are just a little bumpier for us. So keeping a routine or a rhythm is definitely something that helps us a lot. So reason number 2 is that a routine provides structure. So as a stay-at-home, work-at-home, homeschooling mother, it's really easy, as I mentioned, to look at the tasks ahead for the day and just get really overwhelmed and think, how am I going to do all these things? If I just have it all kind of laid out in front of me. But knowing that there's going to be a rhythm or a routine as we go through the day, it really just helps me to see more clearly how I'm going to accomplish everything through the day. As we move down the, routine throughout the day, it just helps me to feel accomplished and I feel like I'm on track. I feel like I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And before I get into an example of what our kind of ideal routine would look like, kind of tip or reason number 3 would be that the routine is there to serve you. So you're not a slave to the routine, and it's not this rigid schedule where it's oh, I got behind and we ate breakfast until 8 o'clock instead of only 7:30, and now what are we gonna do to catch up? It's just, that just seems really stressful. And so keep in mind that it's there to serve you. And if you need to change it because you have an appointment, if you need to move things around more permanently to work better because now your baby is not taking a morning nap, they're only taking afternoon naps, there's so many different changes and things that families go through. So it's really great to be able to have that routine that works for you and not the other way around. All right, so let's get into the kind of example schedule. This is what an ideal day would look like for us. It doesn't always look like this, and there's always things that get thrown in the mix that kind of throw things off. But in a perfect world, on a perfect day, this is what I would love for our days to look like. So I kind of have broken this up into 3 sections. So I'll start with waking up and breakfast and that kind of thing, and then the next part is academics, and then the next part is after lunch. So the first thing that we do is wake up and have our breakfast. We're all there as a family in the morning, so we all like to try to eat breakfast together. So that's just the first thing that we do. I have this stuff written down. So the next thing that we do after breakfast is we move immediately into chore time. So my 3 big kids, I have a 7-year-old, 2 5-year-olds they're almost 6, and then I have a 1-year-old that's almost 2 now. So the 3 big kids will go off and start their chores. So they go upstairs and they get dressed, they brush their teeth, they make their bed, and they tidy up their rooms. So while they're doing that, I'm downstairs kind of doing dishes, emptying the dishwasher, kind of cleaning up from breakfast a little bit. And then the big kids will come back downstairs and start their chores down there. So that looks different for each child. They each have certain things that they do every day. But some of the things that get done are clearing the table, washing the table, sweeping the floors, cleaning the living room, vacuum, Someone wipes down the bathroom that's down there. We pick up the they pick up the entryway, shoes, anything like that that's been left out from the night before possibly. And so that way we just kind of start our day with a nice little tidied up house. I have found that that helps me to be able to move into the homeschooling part of things without feeling stressed and without feeling behind, because I'm not like a neat freak, but it kind of bothers me when, when there's a mess around and I'm like, I have to sit here and do the school, but there's like stuff all over the floor, and it kind of just bothers me. So I've found that if I have them do their chores first thing and things get like tidied up, it's like, oh, I can breathe and I can move on happily to the homeschooling part of our day, and it just goes much better that way. So after we're done with the chores and I've unloaded the dishwasher and loaded the breakfast dishes and things like that, it's time to move on to the academics portion of our day. So we usually will start that off with our morning basket. If you're unfamiliar with what that is, I have 2 videos. I'll link those up in the cards as well as in the description box below that explains what morning basket is, how we do it. I even have a video kind of showing you real time, like with my camera set up, like what does it look like in our family when we do it, what kind of books and things that we read, and just all that information. So I'll link those for you if you're interested in that. But we move on to morning time, and then once we're done with that, depending on the day, depending on how my little toddler is doing, is she causing, is she being noisy, is she being more needy that day? It just kind of depends, but we'll do that anywhere between like 20 and 45 minutes. And then from there, I'll usually send my twins off to go play with my toddler, and then I'll work one-on-one with my daughter. And so we will do her language arts usually and her math. Those are kind of the ones that I like to go ahead and get out of the way early, or get done early. And then her science and her history, we either will do a little bit later in the morning if there's time, or we'll save that for the afternoon when my toddler is napping. But after we do her language arts and her math, I'll grab one of the twins, I'll let her go play, grab one of the twins, I'll do their math, their language arts, and then I'll switch and do the other twin, math, language arts, like that. And then usually by this time, we're about ready for a snack. And then depending on the time that it is, I might go ahead and get started making lunch. So my husband is home with us for breakfast and lunch and not home with us for dinner. So I usually make our large meal, like you would make like a big meal for dinner. I do that for lunchtime, so I need to get started with that by like 11 o'clock or so. And so I'll usually move on into that, and we'll be done with the academics for the morning. After we have our lunch, I'll usually do some read aloud time after that, between lunch and before rest time. And then after we do read aloud time, or we play, depending on the day. If it's really nice outside, we'll just go outside and play instead of reading. But we all then move into rest time. For my almost 2-year-old, she'll take about a 2-hour nap, just depends on the day. And then for my older kids, I separate them. So someone's on a couch in the living room, someone's on a couch in the playroom, and then someone is usually in one of the rooms upstairs. And so they have usually it's required 2 hours. Sometimes I'll be lenient and just make them stay in for an hour. It just depends on what's going on that day. But they'll move on into their rest time, where they just have to be quiet. They can read, they can color, they can do like any little activity like that, play with Legos, that kind of thing. It just has to be fairly quiet, and they should avoid coming and, bothering me. This kind of sounds bad, but that's like my work time or my rest time, just depending on what's going on that day and what I need. And so I'll like respond to comments or edit videos or film like I'm doing right now. So that's my little break time, and their little break time as well. So when they wake up from their rest time or nap time, then we'll do like a little snack. We might do a little reading or finish up our history or science if we didn't get to that yet. We'll have our dinner. We'll go play more outside, more reading. We just kind of like throw the reading in whenever we can, as well as playing outside whenever we can. We do spend a lot of time outside. So that's just an example of what a typical homeschool day or an ideal homeschool day would look like, what our rhythm is, what our routine is. It really has helped us this past school year to have that. It's just helped keep things nice and smooth, and I find our days just go so much better when we follow that routine. Thanks for watching this video today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, I would love it if you would give this video a thumbs up. And if you're new here, I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel. And I love to hear from you guys in the comments comments. So I would love to know if you have a routine or a rhythm, or do you thrive on a more like rigid schedule? I would love to know down in the comments. I love to hear from you guys. Again, thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.